Welcome back to Channel's Business Global with me, Juliana Olayinka, reporting from just outside the Palace of Westminster in central London. Now, let's focus on the multi-billion-dollar Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway project, which remains one of the country's most ambitious infrastructure undertakings in recent decades. But the development has not come without controversy. In Lagos and surrounding areas, land seizures and the demolition of residential and commercial buildings have sparked legal battles and accusations of displacement without compensation. Supporters of the project argue that it will boost tourism, trade and coastal connectivity. Detractors, however, question whether human costs are being overlooked in the name of economic progress. Well, to make sense of the public reaction and investor sentiment, I was earlier joined by property investment specialist and entrepreneur, Dr. Stephen Akintayo. Dr. Stephen Akintayo, thank you so much for joining me on Channel's Business Global, though I'm not sure if I should thank you or scold you for bringing the Dubai heat to London. We're sitting under a tree because, I kid you not, it's so hot. I have to tell my viewers, obviously we're in the UK, so we've got to talk about the weather.
I think there's a yellow warning or something.
There is a yellow warning. But before we get into the meat of the discussion, why are you in London?
Well, so we're having investors dinner with some of our investors, just to give updates, get to talk and ask questions, you know, particularly, you know, we're in US, we're in Dubai, we're in UK, we're not in Doha, but the Nigerian aspect of things has been a bit concerning, so it's good to have meetings with your investors and really get them to
you've got to alleviate those concerns, and I hope you're going to be doing that for our viewers today, because I was saying to you off camera that there are concerns.
There are.
I've got to be honest, that have come about following the Lagos-Calabar Expressway. Yes, of course, we all want the future. We want the future yesterday, right?
Yeah.
So definitely we want to see high-rise buildings, beautiful landscapes, being able to get to places in Nigeria at breakneck speed. But you need communities to make those things happen. And I think what's come with the development of that highway is, you know, sadness, demolitions, without due care. Can you just give me, as an expert, your overall perception of what has happened there, what could go wrong, and what we can learn from there?
Well, so we can categorize everything to three. State government, federal government, and the investors, right? So you have on the one side, the federal government saying, which is true anyway, by the Nigerian law, 50 meters from the coastal
legal
is owned by the federal government. Right, even though they're trying to stretch it to 100 meters, but I think it's about 50 meters. I'm not sure it's up to 100.
But we should know.
Yes, so by law, belongs to the federal government, and you then have the rest state government. So, however, some people got C of O, right, which is the official document. Some even got building permit from the Lagos state government to build.
So not from realtors or property developers,
no,
from government.
From government, and you know, and they've built in front of the beach, and they were buying because of the beach. Right, it was beautiful. I mean, landmark event center is part of those people. They bought those places because it's facing the beach and all of that. And so now, when you say, hey, the coastal road has to pass that, you know, they're losing money. It's a major issue. So I think there were issues between the federal and the state government, where the state government have given certain people approvals, and now... Is
this before or after Somwalu, or we're not going there?
No. I don't. I think it's successive governments, right? So it's not just one particular government. So that's one part of the argument, the federal and the state government. And then we then have with the investors, where you put some of us at risk with our investors, because we are the ones who travel all over the world. And as much as we have offers, I can offer people here properties in the UK, I can offer people property in Dubai, I can offer people, but I keep saying, hey, home is home. We still want you to invest back at home, we want you to be diversified. You put people like us in trouble, because now people say, yeah, you want us to invest back home, but see what's going on. see how people are losing properties. So I think that there's a need to have a human face.
Yes.
There's a need for the federal and state government to have meetings and say, okay, if you state government have encroached on federal land and you're giving C of O, you're giving building permits, what can we do for such people? You also need to have meetings with the investors to see how, because there must be a human face. These are investors' money, they work hard for their money, and you want to make sure that you communicate properly. Yeah. We lost, for example, 5 acres to Coastal Road in one of our estates. Yeah. Wow. And then another of
just our... lost?
Gone. We had even done fence with sandfilling. We lost over 300 and something million naira for just the construction we've done so far. And then we still lost 5 acres. The good news is that, of course, the rest is now facing the Coastal Road.
Okay, so there's a positive in there for you.
There's positive because, and we're way behind the 100 meters facing the Coastal Road. Are
you sure you're safe?
No, we are. We even have the Surveyor General giving us a survey, a registered survey for it. So, but we have another one again that's literally that was, land grabbers, in that same Coastal Road area. And this has a Gazette, the family, they even killed a particular Baale on the land, And now, guess what we realized? The people building the Coastal Road took over the land that belongs to us, right? And they just started working there. We just had to let go. So you put people like us in a lot of trouble. Yeah. When decisions like this are being made, and you put us, how do we still go back to investors and say, hey, you still want to invest in Nigeria? What we have had to do is to take all the heat and make sure none of our investors is losing anything. Every one of them is still getting land, and the land value is even way higher now because of the Coastal Road. But not every company can afford to do that. Not every company is that big to take those kind of hits, and then still be able to deliver for the customer.
Absolutely. Dr. Stephen, you're quite, I think anybody knows you on social media knows that you're quite a positive person, uplifting, higher thoughts, higher vibrations and stuff. But I do want us to be honest, because we've got to call them to account at times. How did they get this so badly wrong? How? You've spoken about that human face. Of course I'm based here in the UK, but I have seen some updates. The President, Mr. Bola Tinubu, has been there several times, to flag off certain achievements. But why no human face to what has been, what some would describe as shambolic?
For me, I think this has been on for a while. I have called many times for the 1978 Land Use Act to be abolished, because that is the source of the crisis. When you say my ancestral land, the governor can come and say that my ancestral land has been acquired by the state government. When you empower an individual like that, that absolute power corrupt, absolutely. Right, so that law needs to be abolished, because you can't, everybody in Africa, we take pride in our village, our ancestral home. No matter, even if you live in Banana Island, you take pride when you go to that village. There's no tarred road, there's no running water, there's no electricity, but say, this is our village. Right, so when you then empower somebody to just come and say, hey, we want to do road, we want to do some public office. Now, we know the road probably can't even take more than 100 meters. Right, but you take an entire community, way more than what you actually need for the road.
How do you balance that with development, which is, of course, what the administration will say? We need to develop.
Yeah. If it's been sincere, if we remove personal interest, right, we can do those things, right? There's nothing wrong trying to do road. It's just 100 meters. I would gladly give you my 100 meters. I just lost 5 acres. I'm not complaining. I didn't go to TV shouting and complaining.
You didn't, actually. I'm quite surprised. I don't know if that's
exactly.
Business Global exclusive.
Yes, I didn't. But because it's reasonable, I have over 40 acres there. I lost 5 acres. That's fine, right? But when you do way more than that, right? When we can't see that what you're taking is genuinely for the common use, That's an issue.
Well, sadly, that's all we have time for today. But as always, do get in touch with your comments and suggestions. I'll see you at the same time next week for more in-depth business analysis on Channel's Business Global. Goodbye.